Justin Trudeau's Liberals, well, they want you to believe they are actually helping the Yazidi victims of genocide at the hands of the Islamic State. But new reports out this week revealed just how much help the Canadian government is actually getting to those Yazidis. On October 25th, the Liberals finally agreed, or rather conceded, to a Conservative motion to help Yazidis flee sex slavery and extermination, with a plan to be set in place within 120 days. And let's be real, what the Yazidi ethnic and religious minority is facing on the ground in Iraq is extermination. Yazidis have faced 73 genocidal massacres in their history. They were once a population of 23 million, now they number less than 700,000, with most of them displaced into refugee camps where they routinely face discrimination by the Muslim aid workers in these allegedly safe UN camps. So how many Yazidis will the Canadian government actually commit to help? The number? It's astounding. It's 50. Just 50. Watch this.
It's been nearly a month since this House unanimously passed a motion to bring Yazidi women and girls to Canada. We thought we won a victory for women who have been persecuted and enslaved by ISIS terrorists. But now government officials have admitted they're only targeting 50 women and girls to bring to Canada for safe asylum. These women deserve more than a token effort. Their lives are on the line. So, Mr. Speaker, will the Prime Minister honor the spirit of this motion and do more for these girls?
Honourable Minister of Immigration.
Mr. Speaker, that number has nothing to do with our plans. Most important are events in the region, and our government has committed $1.6 billion to humanitarian capacity building and military efforts in the region. But we will certainly honor our commitment, and my department is working very hard to devise a plan to bring in those who have suffered from the atrocity of Daesh, both Yazidis and others, into this country within the time period prescribed by Parliament.
So it was all for show. The Liberals don't want to help the Yazidis, and they aren't really even trying. And remember, the Yazidis are people that under Stephen Harper's old refugee and immigration rules would be given priority in our refugee system because of the immediate danger and threats they face on the ground in Iraq. But under Trudeau's rules, Canada will maybe only admit 50 of these most vulnerable people. Now, while I'm disgusted with the Canadian government, I do have some good news. We can help Yazidis and persecuted religious minorities if we want to, and there are people doing it every single day. I'm going to tell you about a few of these groups who are somehow able to do more to help people persecuted by ISIS than the entire Canadian government. Because these groups, well, they just want to, and because they have the will to do it. There's Operation Ezra. It's an initiative by the Jewish community in Manitoba. They are privately sponsoring 7 Yazidi families, approximately 42 people. They're saving 42 lives. The small Jewish community in Winnipeg is somehow able to do as much on their own as the entire Canadian government. Just think about that. And then there's Steve Maman. He's a Moroccan Jew living in Montreal. We've talked about him before. He founded an organization called the Liberation of Christian and Yazidi Children in Iraq. His organization has liberated almost 150 Yazidis and Assyrian Christians from sex slavery and abuse. That's 3 times the amount of Yazidis the entire Canadian government has committed to helping. And then there is the Nazarene Fund. It's part of the Mercury One charity. Now, that charity was founded by conservative multimedia entrepreneur Glenn Beck. The Nazarene Fund, it's truly phenomenal. It has, to date, saved 3,675 people, all Yazidis and persecuted religious minorities. Mercury One has provided aid to 15,675 others and reunited 829 families torn apart by genocide. For those of you keeping track at home, Mercury One and the Nazarene Fund has saved nearly 74 times more Yazidis and persecuted religious minorities than the entire Canadian government will commit to do. And those are just 3 groups. I could have listed a handful more, all groups founded by people who just couldn't sit on their hands while a genocide unfolds half a world away, like the Liberals are doing. Canada could and did move heaven and earth to help 25,000 Syrian refugees last year in about 120 days. The Liberals at the time said it was just a matter of political will to get it done, which means, by that metric, the Liberals, well, they just don't have the same political will that these other groups have to help sex slaves and Yazidis facing genocide. Sunny ways, am I right? For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. For an eye on the federal Liberal government that you won't get anywhere else, click the link below to subscribe today.